travel because it makes me realize how much I haven't seen, how much I'm not going to see, and how much I still need to see. Carew Papritz. And when we don't travel for ourselves, we live vicariously through others' experiences. Our members, Miss A Dasgupta, Miss B Sarkar, Dr. A Roy, and Miss S Saha shared their travel stories with us this Friday. Let us tour the world through their eyes.
A Dasgupta, a member of Support Elders. I would like to share one of my fascinating memories of Paris and Switzerland today. Many years have passed in between. I still cherish those memories. In 1988, my husband, son, and I visited my daughter's place, who was staying in London. We planned for a trip to Switzerland with my daughter and son-in-law during August by car. I was very excited because we had to cross the English Channel. We reached Dover ferry terminal and the car drove into the car ferry service. I cannot describe in words how excited I was while crossing the English Channel and reaching Calais in France. We stayed in Paris for 3 days. I was spellbound with the history and architecture of Eiffel Tower, the Louvre Museum, the Notre Dame Cathedral. It taken a few days to complete watching all the art collection in the Louvre Museum. The destination was Switzerland, so we had just overseen the museum and headed towards Switzerland. The drive was equally enjoyable. There were mountains on both sides of the highway, and suddenly we found a lush green valley. As we drove down the valley, we entered Geneva. We quickly saw the Palace destination, which is the home of the United Nations office, and drove to our hotel Keller Hall. It was late in the evening, and we had our dinner with local food and headed for bed. But while others were fast asleep, I did not want to miss the chance of watching the night from the window. The fairy tale looking villages with twinkle lights, the cars moving through the mountain and disappearing in the dark, everything looked like a dream come true. Next morning, after having breakfast outside the hotel, surrounded by mountains, we headed towards Furka Pass. Furka Pass is a high mountain pass located in one of the snowiest regions in Switzerland. It's one of the world's most iconic, exhilarating and exciting drives through the Swiss Alps. My son-in-law cautioned us not to talk to him as it would disturb his concentration. But we all kept on enjoying the breathtaking view of the Swiss Alps. The road offers views of glaciers, craggy mountain tops, and of scenic forested areas. We parked our car and actually walked through the glacier. We went to the top by a ropeway ride. The scenic beauty is indescribable. We bought some souvenirs from the local shops and drove to Zurich. We stayed there for a day. The tram ride by the side of the lake and the beautiful city is still afresh in my mind. We drove through Germany, and the Rhine River was another very exciting and memorable for me. Tourists were enjoying the balloon ride over the Rhine River, but we didn't try that. The street theatres in the middle of the city center area was another worth watching sight. As I was wearing sari, local people came to me and asked Hindi, Namaste. I was surprised to see that they could relate sari with India. The tour was really enchanting and I enjoyed every bit of it.
I am B Sarkar, a member of Support Elders. Today I will share one of my memorable visits in the USA. I have travelled many places with my son during my stay in the USA in 2019. But the one that haunts me till now is the destroyed Twin Towers of Manhattan in New York City. I want to share my memories around that place which was destroyed in the blink of an eye by the terrorist attack. This memory of mine is not to make anybody sad, but I want to share the perseverance of the people who changed the place that turned into a big pile of rubble within a few hours of 9/11. The way they have revitalized the whole area after such tragedy and brought it back to life is something praiseworthy. The place where the Twin Tower had collapsed due to the aftermath of the attacks is known as Ground Zero now. To commemorate where the World Trade Center once stood, there are memorial and museum at the original World Trade Center site now. Just outside the museum, in an 8-acre park, there are 2 reflecting pools with waterfalls rushing down where the Twin Towers once rose into the sky. It seemed to me that the tears of many people rolling down on the pool. The names of all the victims are engraved on the bronze panels surrounding the pools, arranged by where individuals were on the day of the attacks. So the co-workers and people on the same flight are remembered together. People pay respect to the innocent victims. The Freedom Tower, also on the original World Trade Center site, opened in November 2014. The centerpiece rises even higher than the Twin Towers. It is the tallest building in the United States and Western Hemisphere. Like me, many tourists stood there speechless, thinking about the people who lost their life that day and paying respect to them. I salute to the authorities who kept their pain alive through these marvelous creations. Thank you.
I am Arup Roy. I have become a member of Support Elders since January 2021 this year. I retired from Scottish Church College, Kolkata as Associate Professor of Physics. I love to travel, but I prefer to visit places that are less crowded. When in the year 2013, my daughter Arup Roy went to Seattle, USA for her postdoctoral research, I got the opportunity to visit a foreign country for the first time in my life. My travel memories in the context of serenity began in 2014 with Alaska, the biggest state of the United States of America, but isolated from the mainland. It was in the month of May when we took a flight from Seattle in the state of Washington to arrive at Anchorage in Alaska. It is closer to the polar region, and its soil, rocks, bear the signature of volcanic eruptions. The flora and fauna changes from the sea towards the icy north. Denali is a vast national park consisting of mountains, rivers and vegetation typical of tundra region. We moved towards Denali by a train specifically designed for tourists. There were two huge compartments, each of which was dome-shaped. Side walls and the roof were of transparent material so that one can have an all-round view. The train moved slowly through the forest of deciduous trees, striated by gargling rivers, happy to be in motion at the onset of the summer. It stopped occasionally in case any wild animal was identified, and the tourists could have a view of that. Mount Mckinley, the highest peak in USA, could be seen on the left side of the railway track pointing Denali. At Denali, we had the opportunity to go for a short trek to a lake called Horseshoe because of its shape. The place is serene and beautiful. Birds, squirrels were enjoying the sun. Mew gulls were found sitting on the branch of a fallen tree by the side of the lake. From Denali, we went to Seward, an important port. We took a trip by a tourist ship into the Pacific. Interestingly, we found small hilly islands at many places in the sea, as if they have raised their heads to watch the strangers. We did see a number of orca whales, humpback whales, dolphins, and a variety of seabirds. What surprised me most is the appearance of a huge glacier from inside the sea. The ship went up to the glacier, squirming through the floating blocks of ice generated by huge chunks falling into the sea from the glacier. It was a breathtaking beauty indeed. Now I will share my experience about a place while visiting Canada in 2019. We went to Banff National Park from Calgary. The place is a gift of nature. Snow-clad mountains, lakes, rivers, forest. We did have a fascinating view of a lake nestled within snow-clad mountains. We drove to see Beto Lake, which is fed by streams coming down the mountains that carefully guard the long lake. Interestingly, its color is green. In 2018, we stayed for only 24 hours in Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. We went to see a church. Its modified Gothic structure attracted my attention. In the beautiful city, it stood alone. We chose a whale watching program, boarded a ship, and it moved into the blue sea from the bounds of snow-clad volcanoes. We visited Oregon, the state adjacent to the state of Washington, in 2018. From Medford Airport, we drove into Running Voy Farm, a farm cum resort. It is huge. It is developed by the side of Klamath Lake, which is fed by Klamath Falls. One day, I looked beyond the golf course, within the resort, into the sky above the lake. It was parting time for the day, and the lightly crimson sky with intertwined loose threads of cloud created a mystic environment. I stood stupefied. We visited Crater Lake National Park. The lake was created out of volcanic eruption and is surrounded by volcanoes. I looked into the lake. It was blue, nothing extraordinary. In a short while, it became very deep blue, as if dense blue paint had been poured into the lake. An unforgettable sight. In Portland, there is a rose garden, a fabulous collection of different variety of roses. The rose in the picture is one I had never come across before. We visited some selected places of Switzerland in the month of May of 2018. We stayed in a village named Beer. The village is so beautiful with its lush green fields, yellow flowers, wonderful skyline that it has an indelible impression on me. Being stationed at Beer, we went to visit Mount Titlis. A visit to Interlaken Township with its colorful flowers in the foreground of faraway snow-clad peaks is truly fascinating. Let me now take you to the state of Washington. The visit to the Olympic National Park in the year 2016 changed my concept of a national park. It includes forest area and seashores. Just by the side of the sea, there are huge trees uprooted by the fury of water and the storm. No one touches those, giving the seashores a feel of virginity. The combination of water, the raised heads of rocky lands from inside the sea, and the sky gives a feeling of tranquility. We visited Birch Beach, a part of Puget Sound, in 2018. The cool environment set a calming effect on us. during daytime and particularly just at the time of sunset. Finally, I would like to share my experience of 2018 when we visited Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming State. There we went to see Mormon village in the lap of Rocky Mountain Range. The place within Grand Teton National Park was forlorn and virtually uninhabited. The Mormon tribes settled there once upon a time. No one is there at present. You stand there in front of the Rockies and unknowingly get lost in the past.
I am Suparna Saha, a member of Support Elders. I want to share one of my beautiful memories of visiting Singapore. In February 2020, just before pandemic, me and my husband on our way back to Calcutta from California in the USA took a short 3-day break at Singapore. We had a relative there, and so we took the opportunity to go around the city. Our destination was Santosha, mainly the much talked about sea aquarium. There was variety of colorful fish, especially the big shark, colorful coral, blue lobster, yellow, blue, brown frogs, and many more unknown species of aqua animals and plants mesmerized us. Then we went to Jurong Mall that have earned recognition worldwide as being entertainment centers of global standards. The Westgate shopping mall is located in the heart of Jurong Gateway. Designed to be the prime destination for lifestyle and family shopping and entertainment in Singapore. It was so spacious that we took a small train ride to move around the mall. The next day we went to Garden by the Bay Flowers. It is a nature park spanning 250 acres in the central region of Singapore. The park consists of the 3 waterfront gardens, Bay South Garden, Bay East Garden and Bay Central Garden. The largest of the gardens in the Bay South Gardens. Each flower dome is the largest greenhouse in the world. The cloud forest is another beautiful part of the garden to watch. It is higher and we had to go by the elevator. It replicates the cool, moist conditions found in tropical mountain region, and so when we reached there, we found mist everywhere, and the droplets are also falling on us. The famous Marina Bay Sands is visible from the top, along with the Singapore Flyer, Marlian Park, the orchids, ferns, peacock ferns are worth watching. Other than the exotic flora and fauna, the architecture is also extremely admirable. The stunning forest of giant maple trees at Gardens by the Bay is even more mesmerizing at night, when the structure lights up in colors to the sound of music that fills the entire park. It is really impressive. We went to Planet Where to watch the light and sound. The dancing lights are fixed with the trees in such a way that it looks as if the trees are dancing. The last leg of our trip ended with a visit to a local market, and was surprised to see the organized way of arranging the huge market with variety of fruits, vegetables, gifts, items and whatnot. 3 days of our stay passed in the blink of an eye.
Thank you ever so much for spending your time with us. We hope you have enjoyed watching the program. Before we say bye-bye, we have a little request. Please spend a second to click on the subscribe button. No, this is not a financial subscription. It only means that you have seen and liked the program and subscribing to this channel so that you can watch many more such programs that we intend to bring to you. Thank you once again.